Okay, guys. You guys have any questions? Any questions at all on this? We'll start with you, John, if you want.
Well, there's a lot of.
Make sure you're talking to the microphone and turn it on.
Okay, here we go. All right, there's a lot of pluses and minuses on the end of the items.
Mm-hmm.
Would you hit the highlights of the bigger ups and downs?
Well, the minuses are, you look at 23 to 24, go to the first one, appropriations. Right, is that the first page, appropriations? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We cut that in half, 1,500, so that's minus. If it's a minus, that's the percentage, it's down. If there's no minus, that's the percentage, it's up. For like the judge. Contractual, the judge went from 9 to 12,000. Well, he's got a couple court cases coming up, or he's going to have stenographer and jury trials. So he expanded for that. Engineering, cut that in half. If we need extra funds for that, which I don't think we will, they're available.
I had a question on the attorney.
Hit your mic.
I had a question on attorney. Contractual, it looks like we went up. Put more money in budget for attorney cost.
Yeah, I went up 50,000 on that. We've got the stamp project. We've got Borrego this spring. We've got what's the other? The solar project that's going on, and the investigation that's going on currently. So we budget it, and whatever's left over can be recycled back into the system. I wanted to make sure there was enough in there to cover what we had going on this year.
On your engineering,
Yeah.
you think it's actually wise to cut that in half? You're looking at water districts. You're looking at. Do we have to do any engineering with what they're going to do with the stamp?
You don't think it's good to cut it down?
I don't think it's good to cut it down that much, no.
Well, we've got the ongoing. Jason's. We've already got a contract with Jason for the water. That's already paid for. That we approved this past summer. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think on engineering, Steve?
I don't know.
I mean, we didn't use. What did we use last year? $15,000 for Jason. Out of that 60.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that comes out of the A fund, which we have plenty in the A fund. A account. Jeff, what do you think?
I thought your explanation was fine.
I mean, if you guys are comfortable adding more money into it, we can.
I don't think it would hurt to put maybe 15 grand. That would bring us up. I'd rather have a little cushion than.
You good with 45, John?
All right, that's probably acceptable.
Okay, 45. Records management. What else you got? 148. Control dogs. Where is?
On the records management, how come that's been cut down so low? Or cut down, looks like 30% or better. Or it says 30%, so.
Records management. Yeah. Hold on a second. 2, you said? I lost that again.
Down here. Page 2, my page 2.
Records management. Why did that go down? I remember why that went down. Records management. 1350, 12.5. That looks like that's what was on my records management worksheet from the clerk. That's what was, actually, it's a little above what she requested.
What did I request? I don't remember.
12.5. So I added a cushion onto it.
I'll need somebody a couple days a week for records management.
Okay. What else? Mr. Schiffer, you got anything?
Does this on the clerk under personnel services, I see it's the same as last year. Does that allow for a raise for the deputy clerk?
Deputy clerk got a raise, yes. There was overage from last year's budget. All employees in the town got a 3% raise. No elected officials got a raise. The only person that got more than 3% was clerk in the court. She'd been here, I don't know how many years, 10, 15 years, and she makes less than our part-time clerks. So I brought her up to even pay with the rest of the clerk. Where was,
On page 3, first item buildings, what was the under equipment, we had adapted budget 23 was 10,000, then we took that all away. What did we use that for, or didn't use that for?
let me look at highway department here. I think that was your air conditioning. Was that what that was for? Personal services equipment. No, that's zoning. Superintendent under highways. Buildings. Equipment. Dale, you remember what that was for? I don't see it. I don't see it on your sheets here.
What was budgeted for 2023 activities?
Yeah, that $10,000 we had. That
Let's,
it was.
Might have been used for incidentals after the fire for the generator.
That's what it was. It was the generator. Yeah.
Wiring.
what's it going to cost us equipment-wise to hook the generator up?
Basically done.
Basically done.
That was all part of the contract for them coming in, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. All right. Oop, I didn't turn that off before it rings. Oh, on the, getting back to your question on the raises. The highway guys, the contract is 3%. The clerk's 3%. Clerk's in there 3%. All employees got a raise. Like I said, no elected officials, and Miranda Bennett did not get a raise. She got a raise in the summer, so I did not give her a raise.
Are all these, these that came out for the 2023? Is there such a thing there? We've got that, cover sheets and all that?
Yeah, that one, once this is done, Miranda said these will print out. Oh, you're talking the salaries?
Mm-hmm. Salaries and the other piece.
This will be done after the final revisions are done, but we have, this is the current one right now.
Which one?
2023. We haven't, what I did was, that hasn't been finalized yet. You're talking a typed out sheet, that'll come out when the preliminary's done. I've got this, I did it by pen in the side, adding up per hour, what each raise was gonna be, but you will get that, yes. That was the hourly pay scale for the employees he was talking about.
Are we, on page 4 yet? Or we still on page 3?
No, go ahead, page 4.
Okay, I was kinda wondering, I know that we changed on the street lighting, and I see it's all zeros on the end. So there's not gonna be any additional cost on the street lighting, cause we went to those new LED lights.
That's supposed to drop us, what did Ed say?
It was considerable.
It was a huge,
Supposed to be
huge amount.
considerable amount, but I
Yeah.
was just wondering,
Where are you at on?
I was on, street lighting, and I was just looking at the stuff there.
Oh, street lighting.
Make sure you're talking into your microphone, so that we can pick it up, please.
All right, I'm sorry, Dar. I was asking about the street lighting because we went to all LEDs, and I was looking at the zero figures at the end.
No, the zero figures is it didn't change.
Okay,
Because I wasn't sure what was gonna be, what was gonna happen with the LEDs, and we're taking over, what's that name?
the district.
Furnace Parkway.
Yeah, we're taking over Furnace Parkway, so I didn't cut that because I wasn't sure.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
I didn't wanna be shortchanged on that. Dog licenses were cut on the bottom of whatever page that is, 6, because we don't have an actual count. Conway's gonna do that, and he's gonna be the dog numerator. Is that what? Yeah, Jim Conway. He'll do that in the spring.
Wait a minute here, something's all bollocksed up. Did you go to that? Page 5. As I go after 5, I go to page 1 of the revenues.
2, 3, 4. This is 5.
Yeah,
Page 6 is revenues, right?
5, or page, it says page 1. Preliminary, that's page 1 of the revenues page, yeah.
Got page 1 on the revenues. That's how it prints out. Guys got any other specifics?
I know we haven't got to it yet, but I did, discuss the salaries and, everything with the fire companies.
Oh, yeah, that is,
So, I don't know if you wanna go over that, or you wanna wait till you get to it a little bit further.
no, we, tried to open up negotiations earlier with the fire department, but they got tied up with some stuff. The fire department contract's gonna be 2% a year for the
3 years.
next 3 years. And they were happy with that. That's what we budgeted for.
Okay.
All right, let's go to page 2 of the preliminary budget outside the village. I don't know why it says that, but
Townwide,
it's under youth programs anyhow, it's on.
Yep.
All right, can we add some money to that? Everything's gone up, the minimum wage has gone up with the parks program and stuff. We need to add a little money to that.
Contractual, that's 400, is that what you're talking about, the 400 line?
Right. 7310
That's
400.
contracting for,
That's
9,500?
well, that's what it was last year. That's what I'm suggesting, yes, because what I'm referring to about the wages, the money goes up. It costs more to pay the people there that run the program. We need to give a little more money to that.
Do you,
But doesn't the other towns chip in on that also?
The other towns chip in, and we're several thousand lower than the other towns.
any idea what it's? 16? It's a big jump. Is that what you guys wanna do?
Well, I wasn't going to suggest all that.
What figure you got in mind?
I would suggest about 13 on this.
I'll go 12.5.
Jeff?
Split 13.
You said 13, John?
Yeah, 13 on that.
Okay, 13. Now you're talking on contractual, right, John? That's where you work?
Right,
Contractual
that's the money
400?
we give them.
Okay.
And we're usually a little less than Ridgeway because we have less, what do you call it, per capita.
Yeah.
Less kids in our part of the
Okay.
program than Ridgeway does. And Lindenville actually kicks in some.
55. Fees.
What was the, under appropriations, general government support? Last year it was 57,000. Went down to 0.
Under appropriations,
Yeah.
back at the beginning or?
No, it's page 1, that far through it.
Revenue?
No, appropriations. appropriation.
What's the line, John?
DA 1990.400.
General government contingency. Why'd that drop, Miranda? General government support. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it went into, what was the line? We added. It's the escrow, I mean, the capital fund. Where is it? It got moved to another line. Yes, I remember that. 50, no. 57,262. Nope. 75.
Well, that's the only thing where there's a 7262. But it's not 57.
Is that the equipment reserve line, Miranda? 87,262 on that line? That's where that got moved down, John. 4 lines? It's got the stars on it?
Right.
Okay.
right.
I was just gonna ask you why put the stars
Yeah.
in.
That's a new line item in there. Planning for a reserve to, so we don't have, yeah, so we don't have to take out bonds. Do that for 2 or 3 years and we can pay cash for a truck. Excuse me.
Scott,
Yeah.
under miscellaneous local sources, I'm not sure I understand. What is that?
Miscellaneous revenues, that's DA, that is
2778, 27.
sale of scrap and excess material, where's my sale of equipment? That's yours, right, Dale? Miscellaneous revenues, that was for sale of, God, she told
Like
me.
old equipment or?
Yes. It should be right back, I don't remember that, what that line number is. Miranda. Miscellaneous local sources, miscellaneous revenues, 2770? What? On revenues? It's sale of properties and compensation, miscellaneous local sources. DA 2770. Didn't we underestimate that? And that sale of scrap or any of that stuff.
That's what I would.
We underestimated that just to make sure anything above that is a bonus for us.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
32, 10, employee benefits, 93157. 16, interest. Okay, what is that? The anticipation notes.
Under the appropriations,
Mm-hmm.
employee benefits, employee benefits. I was just wondering, the insurance went down $10,000. That's because somebody isn't taking it? Is that what I'm understanding?
Don't we only have one? Why did the insurance go down? Yeah.
Okay. But shouldn't we keep the money there in case future employees?
It's still, yeah.
And we shop the insurance around to get the best.
Requirements, yeah. Union dictates.
So you have a list of the other insurances that were there, and this one became the lowest. Is that how it worked? You've got the list of that. All right.
Well, I was just looking,
Okay.
marking my.
Right. All right. You guys got anything else?
Yeah, I'm still looking at it.
You had a
Un-
week.
What?
If you got specific questions, I'll answer your questions. If not, I'm gonna open it up to the people and let them ask questions.
All right. Getting into the water district, just looking at this. I see Water District 1 has a lot of. Looking at the percentage, like it's up 285% for equipment. What is that about?
That, we had to, what was that, Dale? How much did I tell you?
Would be where that big leak was,
Yes.
On the creek?
at the creek. And then that created, to repair that created other expenses in order to simplify the lines right there going forward, so we don't have to mess with the valves at the creek. We got the valves each side high and dry. And we took the tap that was on there that went up Creek Road and brought it off of West Shelby Road. At the same time, the moment the tap went through, the pipe split. So we had to go into an emergency repair there.
How many? We added into, was the water district, Miranda? All the water districts. Since we have the, agreement with Royalton coming, we're going to add, where's that, what road?
Johnson,
Johnson and, what's the crossroad?
Talking to your microphone.
County
please.
Line.
Johnson and County Line is where,
Put a new vault in
yeah.
to have another access.
And we rounded off to 150 grand to do that, but we're not gonna need that much, but that's in each water district added into it. That will be the second line into the town, 2 8-inch mains, one off of Freeman, one off of Johnson. Royalton has their water on one side of, what road is that?
County Line.
County Line, and we're on the other, so we just have to punch under the road, connect into the vault, and we've got another 8-inch main feed coming into the town. But that had to be split onto all the water districts. No, this is for the cost of connecting that second line. That's what that is. No, it was moved into each district. When CJ goes out to read water meters and all that, he gets paid out of that fund. He doesn't get paid out of the normal highway fund. Depending on what hours he does doing what, it's a separate fund.
So like on water 11, that's up 750%. That's again part of this.
Water.
Part of this.
And now, that was split up by the water clerk, right? According to, yes, we went. That was 11, John? Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, they've already approved it. It's just contract needs to be drawn up. Verbal approval, Royalton Town Board approved it, Niagara Water Authority Board approved it. We just need the contract. That way, if anything ever happens with Medina or anything ever happens with Royalton, we've got a backup each way. We'll always have water. We don't have to worry about it. So now it's just a written contract we need.
What, we're talking about this water thing. What size line is that coming off of Royalton?
It's an 8-inch main.
8 inches all?
Yep.
And that's gonna do the whole town?
Yes, if I may explain.
Yes.
Yes, I'd be interested.
Okay, right now, the water supplied to the town of Shelby starts at the water tower on top of the hill. There's a 12-inch main that goes to Millville. There's 12-inch that goes up East Shelby Road. This is just basic. Goes on to the end, Fletcher Chapel, the Job Corps block, 63 part way, and it goes all the way over to West Shelby. The only thing that's pushing the water around that loop is a 3-inch pump inside the building. If need is required, there's another 3-inch pump that pushes against it. So the only thing that's moving the water in the town of Shelby is a 3-inch pump. Once we charge all the lines that's full, there's 3 inches ramming it at 70, 75 pounds. That's what's propelling it through. We're going to bring it from Johnson Road to start. Same principle, except we're 100 to 110 pounds of an 8-inch column of water pushing against a 12-inch line, which is a significant amount more water, which in theory will eliminate the need for a tank and a pump station. And if we can put the other vault up in Johnson Road, now you're going to have 2 8-inch lines shoving against there. Also, the 31A corridor has multiple taps on it to water vaults from the transmission line, which is somewhere around 100 pounds. You got one at Hoffman Road, you got one at Shelby Basin Road, you got one here at Saltworks Road, and you got one in front of Cusamanos. So those are projecting to the south for the most part. One of them goes down around the Shelby Basin Hoffman to 31E and back around towards Shellridge. I don't know how we're going to do the final of it all, but we have a real good plan in effect to be turning things off in hopes that the Niagara County Royalton will be able to keep up, which they should, because they have extra large pumps that they're moving. Right now, they're moving a 2-foot column of water all the way from Niagara Falls to that tank up there. They got the pumps to move the water through Shelby. It's going to be a very good deal, I believe.
You said this is going to be where it ties in at Johnson Road?
Freeman Road.
Ours,
now.
or Freeman Road, whatever. It's 70 pounds now, and we're putting,
What we're pushing is 70 pounds with the 70, 75, give or take, with the 3-inch pumps at the tank. Over at the end of Freeman Road at County Line, Niagara County's pushing 100, 110 against an RPV, pressure regulating valve.
Yeah.
It's a one-way, so if our pressure goes haywire or something, it brings it in. So we're going to start right off with 110 pounds on an 8-inch column going east instead of everything coming west on a 3-inch.
Versus 70 pounds off of a 3.
I'm not saying that we're going to have 100 pounds all the way through.
No, but he said he can increase pressure.
If anything, yes.
We won't have to pump, is what it comes down to.
right, is our infrastructure going to handle the 100 pounds if it's been on 70 for all these years? When you bump it up to another
The line,
100?
the lines in the ground far exceed that value.
Okay. Thanks, Dale.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
See an average of a minus 25% metered water sales. Is that? Y'all can hear me, right?
Nobody in TV can.
Yep.
Oh, that's fine. This reduction in the metered water sales, is that anticipation of the savings in going with Niagara, or is that simply?
Where are you at there? I'm not
For
sure.
each water district, there's an average of a minus 20% in metered water sales. Some districts are as high as a minus 41%. 38.5 versus 22.5 income column. 2140.
140. Meter water.
Yeah, while I'm here, might as well get these over with.
Metered water sales. Which is that? Oh, that's 3. Okay. Yeah. You got another one?
Yeah, and snow removal on townwide, page 1, 23% increase, 129.6 to 160.
Where are we at?
Can you clarify that?
Appropriations or?
Dale,
I put that increase in because salt has gone up, diesel fuel is way up, and the trends are upwards as we go through the year. And that's not counting the parts. Everything has increased, and I don't want to be caught short needing something and not having the funds to take care of it. As with any budget line, if I'm correct in thinking that if there's money left over, it's, used to replenish it.
2%.
Just case in hand, last week fuel was 323.1. Yesterday it was 325.7. We're going to check again tomorrow. They're anticipating another decrease, they hope. So at that point, I'm going to have to fill the tank.
Is that good, Larry?
Yeah, I mean, it's a considerable jump, but
Salt went up $10 a ton. We use a lot of it.
you had mentioned the fire, something about a straight 3%. I see that jumped 25% as well, from 207,000 to 261,000. Is that looks pretty consistent?
2% on fire per year, right?
2% a year for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's what we settled on.
2% a year. That math doesn't look right. Are we talking as opposed to 2023 budget? 207 to 261 is not 2%. John already touched on these personnel lines on the water districts. The only one I had is the mentioning about the LEDs. There was supposed to be a substantial savings with those, and we didn't make any adjustments to that at all.
I'm kind of hesitant on that because I don't know, they say we're gonna have savings, but
I mean, ironically, we were concerned about having that light removed, and turns out these LEDs are just absolute horrible.
did they put a shield on your
They
light?
don't have to. The thing makes a spot on the ground this big.
Really?
They're just absolutely horrible, as opposed to what was in there before. But consequently, obviously, going to use quite a reduced amount of power to operate those. So I just felt we would see that reflected in the '24 budget.
And we're taking over, what was the other thing? We're
Furnace
taking
Parkway.
Furnace Parkway as a new lighting district. The town's taking that over. We're paying that bill.
There's
It's an
what?
additional.
There's what? There's 2 lights on that, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's all I have for now.
Anyone else? While we're waiting?
Are we open?
Huh?
We're open to basically public speaking.
Yeah, if while we're waiting, yeah, if you wanna, if you guys have questions,
You guys are, you're just tackling.
come up to the mic. State your name and for the record.
All right. I'm Mike Sargent. Some of you know me. Some of you don't. Some of you know what I do. Most of you don't. And what I'm seeing, okay, all right, and I'm going to say this as a taxpayer, there's not a lot of transparency, in anything from the budget side of things. And I don't, I mean, there's a lot of questions you guys are asking about costs, all right? And I'm not going to profess to know the process. I'm not going to profess to know the inner workings of the township. I haven't actively participated, in the ongoings of the town because I generally just don't care, okay? And there's reasons for that. But what I am going to say to you guys is it seems to be that the town of Shelby is struggling, okay? Across the board. And I came down today after, based off some events, when I dealt with the county on some things here recently, and I learned some things just today. It just shocked me. It just shocked me. It floored me. You guys are sitting here as representatives of the people of this town, and I look at your wages, and I gotta question this. Grossly underpaid for what you guys are doing. That's the first thing that stands out to me. And then I go back and I look at the processes. And I guess this comes from my years in what I do from a job, which none of you guys really know anything about what I do. I work for a business, and it's logistical, it's analytical, it's statistical, okay? And what I got to look at here, and this is what I want to state, I review certain things from a misery index standpoint in what I do. And people in this county and in this town, they're not happy. Nobody is. That's not necessarily out of your guys' control. I mean, there are certain entities that have really impacted people. And I think we all know what those are.
Can I stop you for a second?
Sure.
Can we finish up with the budget before?
Absolutely.
I appreciate you, but
Yeah.
Some people might want to be here just for the budget. Then after we get done, you come on back.
Sure.
Unless you have a budget question.
Not necessarily a budget question right now.
Okay, could I?
Sure.
I'd appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
know the email that I wrote to you and didn't got a reply the first time. I didn't get a reply to any of my questions on the second email.
Okay.
There was a legal notice published
Yes.
Friday that stated, and I assumed that it meant what it said, it is a legal notice, that there would be a hearing, a public hearing tonight, which there is, but the budget would have been available in advance for us to see. Available at the clerk's office for anybody to go into at any time and request. And I've requested, and I've been in there, and I've called, and this is the first time I get to see it. And you guys are running through numbers, and you want public comments after something, you hand me a document that's 70 pages. I don't know how many there are, but there's quite a few. A lot of pluses, a lot of minuses. How the heck can you have a public hearing when you've already notified that we were supposed to get access to this thing? I come in and I see a 2-line thing. This is the agenda. We're going to go over the budget. That's the agenda. Here's the budget. You come in late, give us a budget, and ask us to comment on it. I don't see how that's the process. I thought there was supposed to be a 5-day opportunity to review this thing prior to a public hearing. So that's my comment. I have called the comptroller's office. I talked to them again today. This is not kosher, guys. And I understand you're struggling with this thing. I understand it's a lot of work. I appreciate that. But it is everybody's money. Just as Larry talked about, it's money. And the taxes in this town, and I've talked to you about it before, they're out of sight. You know, and I know that's not your fault on everything, but at least as a public entity, we should be able to see this budget in time to comment. So the next thing is just a question. What's the next steps that you guys are going to follow on this budget?
Next step is, board makes the changes they want to make. Then we vote on approving it as a final budget.
Without another public hearing, after you give us just minutes to look at this thing?
If,
That doesn't follow any of the rules, either in the town, the things, or in the comptroller's.
now the notice that was given, I have no control over the notice that was
It's a
given.
legal notice.
I didn't
comes
make
out of
the-
this- I don't care
The
who
board
put
did
it in
not
there.
make the legal notice.
Doesn't matter. It's a legal notice put in by the board,
No, put in by the town clerk.
as per the rules.
Yeah.
And there should have been a 5-day period that we had access to it, to this particular meeting.
Well, I called the comptroller's office.
So did I.
They called me back.
And I'll tell you,
and-
I got a different answer than you said that you got.
Okay, I understand that.
And I'm going to be talking to them again. They're calling me back.
Okay.
This is not right, guys.
I'm not trying to hide anything from you. I'm trying to do it the right way.
Well, it's not the right way.
Okay.
You can't ask the public 15 minutes, forgive me, to look at this thing, and you're going to vote on it next?
Okay.
I don't know. I hope they audit you.
Linda Lemina. So just a couple quick things that stand out for me, like Jim said, with only a few minutes to look at this. So I wonder, what is the increase in the attorney line? You're up about 138,000 from where you are right now, and 50,000 from the budget for '23. Can you tell me the rationale or what the reasoning is for raising that line so much?
Yeah, we already covered that. That was,
Okay, well, I had to work. I'm sorry, I couldn't get here
Okay.
earlier. I mean, I
I didn't know you
came
weren't
right
here.
from work, so.
The stamp lawsuit, Borrego coming up, the solar project, the investigation that's going on.
Okay, so you're thinking that's an increase from where you are right now?
From 100 to 150, yeah, that's only $50,000 increase.
Yes, but right now, as of the end of July, you're only sitting at 12,000. You budgeted 100, so you're 87,000 below what you budgeted. So you're really saying that it's going to go up,
No, it's better.
or you have other fees this year that you're expecting?
Well, every town attorney is $1,000 a month, straight flat fee for
Okay.
advising the board. Anything else we have them do, their normal billing rate is between $600 and $700 an hour. We get it for, I think, $295 an hour.
Okay.
So every time we ask them, do this for Borrego, do this for stamp, especially now with the stamp lawsuit, 295.
Okay, so the
295.
increase is because of the extra you expect from,
The
okay.
land use side of the firm.
Okay. My other question would be on medical insurance, and I'm sorry, but again, my first quick look at this, under the general fund townwide, your medical insurance is up. You budgeted the same, but you're only sitting at 35 right now, so if you double that and assume it's an annual rate, you're looking at 70. The insurance is going up 28,000 next year.
What page that is?
I don't know, this doesn't have a page number on it. Like 4 maybe, 5? It's under employee benefits, hospital and medical.
90,600.
98,500 is what you're budgeting.
Yep.
But right now, you're at 35,000 for 7 months. So even if you double that and assume that's an annual, you're at 70,000. So it looks like you're budgeting for an increase of $28,000 in medical insurance.
Why did we leave that, Miranda?
I understand what's in it, but I'm asking you expect it to go up 30, almost 30? No, it didn't change from your budgeted number, but you're on pace to do 70,000 this year. The number you have in here as your 731 actual number says 35,000. That's for 7 months. So if you annualize that, and I'll give you the benefit and double it, right? It's 70,000. So you're budgeting a $28,000 increase from where you are this year. I understand that, but it looks like you're gonna come in $28,000 under your budget. So you just kept the budget. I guess I'm just confused with that.
No, I understand it. I
Okay.
understand it.
Okay, and then the last thing is, under almost every category, there's a line called contractual. I'm guessing that is everything other than personnel and/or equipment, right? Because those two lines.
Yeah, if we have to hire someone to do any type of contractual
So
stuff.
when you say, so when I hear, so contractual meaning it's professional services type of contractual, or it's contractual like anything that doesn't fall under salaries or equipment? So like, for example, I'm sorry, Scott, where I am is on the town of Shelby, the highway town-wide number,
Okay.
under snow removal. So that contractually, or it says under the contractual line, it's $150,000. Is that like your supplies?
That's my salt, my
Okay.
fuel repairs,
Yes.
parts, things like that for the snowplows, correct?
So anything that's not personnel,
Yeah,
like
correct.
people
That's the
or
full
the
100 line,
equipment
correct.
itself? Okay,
Yeah.
so my question is there a breakout for those numbers that are, for those categories that tend to be pretty large like that? That's a pretty big grouping. Is there a breakout that we can see that says what makes up that 150? On the lines that are smaller, that are only 10,000, not as important, but 150,000 is a big number to lump together, so could we get a breakout of that?
Is there a,
That would be really kind of difficult because there's all the unknowns of I don't know how many gallons of fuel we're gonna burn, I don't know how many times out we're gonna go, I don't know how bad the snow's gonna be, how much salt I need to buy.
Understood, but you came up with a number somehow. I'm just trying to understand
I
where
used
the number.
previous number from years ago and, addressed what I figured was the rate increase, like when salt goes up.
Yep.
When fuel goes up, the first year I was here, Linda, fuel was 80 cents. It had gone up to 4. I got caught really short, so I used a lot more of that in order to take away from the salt or parts in the plow, we made them go longer.
tonight?
Understood, but like, for example, you're at 104,000 as of as of July 31st, right?
That's
So you
something
must
we
have
should
some
or not?
breakout that says how much, how many gallons of fuel, how many pounds of salt, and then you add some extra on to cover your estimated increase. I'm just trying to figure out what the usage or numbers breakout is, that's all.
I don't know outside of the salt is 18,000 ton average, give or take.
Okay.
Last year, we went over because of the storm. Storm cost us a lot of money. Fuel went up from what we paid the year before, so I needed to adjust as to what I thought was gonna be.
Linda, you're talking about the budget worksheets,
I'm talking about this,
the budget,
Yeah.
how they came up with their numbers.
yes,
budget
that's
worksheet.
what I'm looking for, yes. Where the
yeah,
kind of
so I can-
general
I can
thought
make this
process-
available to you,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what okay, thank you.
They're dream sheets, they're original,
Yes,
Okay,
that's what I'm trying to.
your requests, yes.
No, not right now.
Steve? No. Jeff? No. Anyone else?
It's not specific to any one line, but again, the main reason that I showed up tonight is for the meat and potatoes of it all. At the end of the day, with the increase in assessments and valuations moving from 80 to 100 and the looming thought that our taxes are just going to go up by default even if it remains flat. Through this trial run of the budget, where are we at per thousand?
Miranda, what do we drop? Inside and outside town? I don't have that sheet. with me. And this is due to the assessments, that, the drop, so.
Right now, with the numbers that we have presently, the outside was 4.17 and the inside was 2.15, I believe.
What was last year?
6 and 4.5.
So it was a significant drop. Our cap was 1.5 million?
Yes,
And
our
we're
tax cap.
around 1.3.
So
We're well under the tax cap.
with the increase of the tax levy, would you say the budget's gonna remain flat to 24?
What do you mean?
In the per thousand rate, in your adjustment of the per thousand?
Well, until we finish this, we won't know, right?
Yeah, we won't know
Yeah,
until
when
it's
we
done.
have the exact numbers and we punch it in, then we'll know exactly what it is.
I mean, you know, you're only allowed to legally absorb so much of that.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'm just saying, in anticipation, if it even were to remain flat, my assessment went up 20,000, I'm paying more money, period. Doesn't matter if it's reduced or not. 10% of $50,000 is less than 10% of $100,000. So, I'm just trying to get my finger on the pulse of where we're heading for 24. I see a lot of pluses, but I also see a lot of minuses.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, just curious what direction we're heading here.
I don't have that number right yet, I can't tell you, until we come up, until the board finalizes these numbers.
Yeah.
We don't even have a guess, I don't even wanna guess what it is.
When will you know?
Soon as we get these numbers finalized, and then I can let everyone know.
Okay. And
So-
will this be resolved during a town meeting, or will this be a specific set-aside meeting?
We do it at board meeting, we must set up another budget meeting. What do you recommend?
It's up to whatever the board wants to do. I
We-
mean, it depends on how many changes, you've talked about making tonight, whether you're
Are you-
comfortable approving this as the preliminary with the changes, and then
What do you guys think? You good with the changes that you wanted?
I'd like to see us get the preliminary budget underway. We've already made our request, what we need for different things. I don't know why we couldn't vote on it.
To make it the preliminary? What do you think, Jeff?
Are you talking about tonight, voting on it?
No, for a preliminary, not the final budget, a preliminary budget. And that can still be changed after the preliminary budget.
And then when we would, the next meeting, we would have all the numbers for the final budget, and we could announce it if we can get it done by then.
Well, you guys are good with these changes like this, so far?
More or less.
Jeff, you good with
We
these
haven't
numbers?
had,
Yes.
we haven't had, like Jim was saying, we haven't had time. They
You've
haven't
had it for
they-
over a week.
No,
I asked you for specific questions, and there was not a cricket peep out of you for changes in the budget. So,
what do you mean there wasn't a cricket peep out of me?
I did not get an
I-
email from you on anything. Not one email. Not one question. I asked for all-
That's why we're here tonight.
I asked for all questions. Are we making this a preliminary budget?
If we make a preliminary budget, then you can get an email or
Then
a copy.
we can give you electronic copy, we can give you whatever.
But if we don't, we can't fund the money.
Do you guys want to make it a preliminary budget? So, let's make this a preliminary budget tonight. We'll vote on this, make it the preliminary budget. We'll schedule. Let me find my calendar. Today's the 9th. We got a board meeting on the 14th, which is Tuesday. How about before the board meeting, we have another public meeting? Is everyone good with that? Do you want to do that? If we make this the preliminary budget, they should be available, right, Miranda? Yes. Oh. Do you all want another preliminary budget here? I mean, another budget hearing? I'm asking you guys. I'm giving you guys an opportunity here. Larry? Okay, so 6 o'clock on the 14th, next Tuesday, 6 o'clock for another public hearing on the preliminary budget. Okay.
Darlene,
I know it's too late to advertise it,
Can
so
you-
it'll be on the website.
I was gonna say, put
Yeah.
the advertisement on the
Facebook.
website, please, and
Right.
whatever you can get the notice on, please put the notice on.
I have a comment. Can I have a comment? I just want to speak a few minutes about my salary. I started in January of 2008. When I started, because I was brand new, my salary was dropped from the previous clerk almost $4,000. It was like $3,900. So I was only getting $24,500. And then in 2009, I got a $2,000 raise. In 2010, it was not quite 1,000. And in 2011, I went up to 28,120, which I still had not reached what the current clerk had left at. And this was now 3 years later. In 2012, I did not get a raise because times were tough. In 2013, I got a $500 raise. In 2014, it was up to $29,328. In 2015, it was $29,915. In 2016, I was up to $30,550. In 2017, I was up to $32,500. 2018, I was at $33,475. And in 2019, I was up to $34,144.50. In 2020, I was at they raised me to $34,827.39. And everyone in the office, when I figured it out, got a 50-cent and 65 cents an hour raise. And when I figured mine out, it was 37.5 cents an hour. In 2021, I did not get a raise. There was two years back in 2011 and 12 that they stayed the same. 2020, 21, and then again in 2022, my salary stayed the same. I did not get a raise for 3 sessions. And a special meeting in February, I decided I was going to have to do something because 3 years without a raise, I was not going to continue working as a town clerk. So after a special meeting, the board got together and they did decide to give me a $3,000 stipend to be a tax collector, which why I never got paid to be tax collector, I don't know. That's part of my job. It's a separate thing, but I'm a tax collector. And they did give me a $3,000 raise for something else. I can't remember what it was. So anyways, my rate now is, 2023, it went up to $44,500. And now I'm not going to get another raise this year. I'm one of the lower paid clerks in the county. Out of 10 of the town clerks, I'm one of the lower paid clerks. My wage is what you see. I don't have stuff in the lines that are hidden. I take in water, money. I take in a lot of tax money. I take in all the clerk stuff. I'm also now doing purchasing. I set up the video cameras now for the meetings. I'm taking care of the website, getting stuff on the website. I have a part-time deputy. I do not have a full-time deputy. If you'll notice last month, the minutes did not get on the website in time because I did not have a full-time deputy. I didn't even have a deputy. I was working alone. I was a deputy. I was a clerk. It sets it up for a bad time. If something happens to me, we don't have any coverage in the office, which did happen a few years ago. I do now have a part-time deputy. She's here 3 days a week. I'm still, like you say, I'm still doing a lot of the deputy work. My responsibilities have increased tremendously, and I really don't feel like me going with no raise again this year is fair to me. I'm here a lot of hours. I do a lot of work. I'm on call at home. I have people calling me at home for things. I just feel like I really would deserve a little bit more than what I'm getting. And just because I'm an elected official means I don't get a raise. It's cost of living. It's the cost of living. I can't even get even a cost of living raise. So I really think that we need to consider something for the clerk. Thank you.
Okay, with these changes included, are you guys good with making this a preliminary budget? Changes you wanted, adding money into these areas. Jeff, you good with it?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
John? I'm gonna vote yes. So, with the changes that the board has requested, we'll make that the preliminary budget. We need to do anything else?
Usually I would do a formal resolution. I mean, I know you just pulled the board, but I would ask for a motion.
Can I get a motion to accept this as a preliminary budget, with the noted changes. They'll be made. Anyone? A motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
I'll second it.
We'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Schiffer? Aye. Mr. Seitz?
Aye.
Mr. Pratt?
Abstain.
Aye. Yes for me. Motion passes. All right. We'll work on this, Larry. Work on this and try and get you the numbers as quick as we can. Mr. Sargent, come on back up.
Clearly, there's a lot of concerns from people, okay? And I'll pick up where I left off, okay? I think, sure. Is that better? Okay. So I kind of personally feel that just after what I've seen here tonight, you guys have your struggles, okay? I don't think there's a lot of transparency in some things. I don't think there's a really good breakdown of things. And what I'm going to reflect to you guys, and this is just my personal assessment on things, and this is based off of just what I've heard here tonight. I completely agree with Darlene Rich. I've seen the wages. It is pathetic to me that we have these people in place that are doing these services and these jobs, and this is what they're paid. Me personally, I had to go outside of this county after struggling trying to work here in this county for years to make over $100,000. And what I'm saying, you know, to the town board here, you guys need to start pushing back on the county. You need to start pushing back on the state. Because we have more than enough residents in this area to sustain the services that we need. But when you have the state and the county divvying into your monies, our monies, okay? And it's causing this kind of dissension, that's not good. And what I'm going to say, and this comes from years of experience in a leadership position, the people of this county, this town are not happy. That is a direct reflection of leadership. And I'm personally going to call it out, and I'm going to challenge this town to start challenging the county. Start getting truth in reporting and transparency on financials. It's needed. It's your responsibility to start doing this. And I think you guys need some public support. So I'm going to encourage you to start speaking to the constituents of this area and start getting the support you need. Working in logistics, I know exactly what this gentleman is going through with the cost of fuel, the cost of material, the cost of parts, the delayed times in logistics operations to get parts to get things going. Remember last year at Christmas, we got whacked with a snowstorm. We all lost power. A lot of us lost everything for days on end. How did that come back? How did that happen? How did we fix this? New York State didn't do crap for me. Orleans County didn't do crap for me. The town of Shelby finally got my road open. All right? And I'm looking at the bigger picture here. The water. We put water lines in. When you guys put the water lines in, I couldn't afford to have water put into my house. Okay? Why wasn't that budgeted for? Why aren't you guys planning for that so everybody has water? There's your revenue. And I'm also looking at it like this. We're real quick to call out certain things from the perspective of what the town does for revenue. I know the town has a lot of things going on here. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. But the bigger picture here, guys, is you guys don't have what you need. And there needs to be some fights. And they are going to get down and dirty and ugly. And that fight is going to come with the county, and it's going to come with New York State. It's embarrassing to me to know that you guys are having this budget meeting to set your guys up, and there's nobody here from the county representing the county to answer any of these questions that you guys are put up against. And what I'm more pissed off about is my involvement years ago with certain entities that were created in this area. Prime example, Orleans Economic Development Agency, where my tax dollars, whether it be state, whether it be county, went to fund these entities. And what do we have for that? Pride Pack, Take Form? Who here knows or works there or actually understands what the people that work for those places actually make per hour? I have concerns looking at it saying, Orleans County, how many people here in this county make over $100,000 a year? I think you'd be surprised to know that that number is very small. But leadership decides we're going to raise assessments. And we all know why we're doing it, to increase tax revenues. People aren't educated enough to realize that, from my perspective, based off of the feedback I got off of Facebook for commenting on it. Okay? Do I have a problem paying taxes? Do I have a problem supporting community leadership? No. What I have a problem with, and I think I'm like everybody else here, I stepped outside of this county so I could provide for my family. And I make really good money. And I'm very good at what I do. All right? And what I look at, and I see this all the time, and I haven't said anything up until this point, because when I go into meetings, everybody thinks they're the smartest people in the room. And I shut up. And I don't say anything. And I listen. And then I start to figure things out. And what I find, God wanted me to be nothing special. But here I am. And what I'm looking at, what I'm really looking at, is that your people are hurting. And we're not doing anything about it. We're complacent. And that's leadership. Start fighting for the constituents and the town people here. Start going to the county legislator, okay, which I don't even know who it is anymore. Start going to the senators and start explaining to people, all right? We have old people, senior citizens that have worked their entire life and paid into the school tax systems and paid into Social Security that are losing their homes right now because we raise assessments and people can't afford to live in them. At my worst point in life, when I needed public assistance and had no job and was working for Shelby Crushed Stone, okay, trying to support a family and pay a mortgage, it wasn't enough money. All right? When I needed help, there was no help for me. I made too much money. Really? That's kind of where I stand with things, guys. I support the town. I support what you guys are trying to do. But I think you guys need to start fighting. Because people here, they're not happy. Our kids leave the area after they graduate school because there's nothing here for them. Okay? People retire, they sell their homes, they leave for other states because this is not a friendly climate for people. I'm disgusted knowing what people here at this town are getting paid for the work that they're doing. And let's face it, when these guys have these decisions with things, okay, those of us that come here we give them nothing but crap. They're putting up with a lot of crap, and I don't know if everybody understands the bigger picture with all this. I mean, you're laughing.
How many meetings have you been to here? Have you followed what's been going on at all?
I followed enough. Okay?
That's what I'm chuckling about. You have no idea about the rest of us, what any of us are thinking, or what
And you guys have no idea.
I have a pretty good idea what they go through. I know some of them personally. I know it's not an easy job, and I've said that about every time I've stood up.
Mhm.
I understand that. So for you to stand up there and pontificate on things that you don't necessarily have a really good handle on, I'm a little gun-shy with it.
And I stated right at the beginning of this that I don't know how all the processes work, okay?
All right,
Thank
thanks, appreciate it.
Okay.
Anyone else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thanks, everyone. 6 o'clock Tuesday before the board meeting, public comment meeting.